I knew that if I left that information out, I was going to get, a plethora of messages demanding, is this inclusive to trans women? And I was too scared to say no. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to let that filler text be there. And then after a year of going through these incidents, I basically thought, I can't do it anymore. But it was driven by, it's cowardly.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna stop you there. I don't think it's cowardly. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm gonna push back because I don't think you should accept what people are saying to you about this. I don't think that people, have any right to tell you when it's acceptable for you to, do what you need to do and on what timeline. And you're the one that's putting on these events and putting yourself out there and putting yourself on the line. And if somebody else is not doing that and putting their name and their, where they work and all this shit out for everybody, then they have no right to say a damn thing, especially if they're an anonymous troll online. I
Yeah.
don't care if you're a lesbian or what. You don't have the right to tell somebody when they get to, feel comfortable with doing whatever the hell they want to do. I'm sorry, that's not anybody's business. I don't care if we're all lesbians or not. And I'm really not going to put up with any more of that in the space. I have some people that have requested to speak, but if you're going to come at Jenny with that, I think it's highly inappropriate and disrespectful. And whatever, Jenny needs to do at her timeline is okay. Okay. And I'm not going to play semantics and that she did this or this. And she said it was a lesbian and it was inclusive. Okay. You know what? Like, she was fucking trying. She was putting herself out there and holding
Yeah.
lesbian events. Okay. And that's
And
really hard to do.
that's the thing that they tell us, be inclusive. And I tried it, and it didn't work out.
I think, Sal, you've been waiting for a while, so feel free to go ahead.
Hey guys. Yeah, I think I requested to speak when Grace was speaking because she irritated me. I don't think she's a lesbian, by the way, as far as I know. Back, when I was doing lesbian bars was sort of the 2000s, was my 20s. And there was no such thing as like lesbian events weren't like lesbian only and female only. Yeah, there were always a few men around. They were friends of friends or someone who came with someone. It's this political trans bullshit activism that has created the problem. We never had to be exclusive before. Like, you never did that before. You never had to particularly exclude males from attending a lesbian event. It's only now that we have to do that. So it's not our fault. It's not our problem. I just think the onus should be on them. They're doing the wrong thing. They're disrespecting us. And yeah, that's why we have to now be exclusive. So yeah, good on you, Jenny.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know. I just, the past couple of days have been like a bit of a head fuck. But
you're just experiencing leaving, a cult in a way in certain aspects. So, and there's both sides of the cult, right? There's two sides to it. And if you're not extreme, if you're having any sort of nuance, then you're going to get attacks. And that's just been my reality for the last few years. You're like, okay, I mean, like, what do you want from me? Really.
They expect perfection. And it's like, I'm getting all these comments on Twitter demanding, business answers.
Yeah, you're going to have to learn to deal with it in some way.
When I don't respond to people.
Yeah, no, it's just,
and they think that I'm being, an asshole, but I'm not. It's just that there's, stuff coming from every direction, and I don't mean to ignore people.
Screw them. If they think they can do it better, they can go and do it. And if they're not on board, then they're not on board, and that's totally fine. But Dill, why don't you speak? You've had your hand up for a while.
So I think you're doing a great job. I think the woman hating, it's just insane, and I think you should do it. And I'm sorry that person came in and yelled at you. Also, I was a little spiky earlier on a comment with you because there are bisexuals when you guys always say lesbian, lesbian, lesbian.
You're right, and that's a really good point. But there's just been like so much that I've had to deal with. Well, like I made the website myself. I've been doing the pitch deck. Like I've been flat out. And I need to go. You're completely right. Like I need to go over the website and other things. But the venue would be for same-sex attracted women.
I mean, yes, you want to say you include bisexual females. That's fine, but this is a lesbian event. You don't want to. If you say it's a bisexual event, well, what does that even mean? You know, I mean, like, so
Yeah.
I think
It's a
that
woman event. It's a woman event. Yeah.
it's a woman event, but I think
Yeah.
that it's still important to
Women
elevate
living in
the L. I think to
Oh,
be like, hey,
absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
lesbian like first. You know what I mean? Like it's lesbian first. Tricky, very tricky with language and everything now, obviously nowadays.
is.
But I think saying like lesbian or women for women, or women who love women,
Exactly.
or same sex event, you know, you may have to include those in parentheses or an asterisk. I
Yeah.
don't know, but
I need to go over everything.
yeah.
Basically, this weekend is my plan. So I'm going to do the pitch deck at the LGBT Alliance conference tomorrow, and then I'm going to check through the website for those kinds of words, and then hopefully that's going to clarify things a little bit. But
Sure.
I'm a one-woman show, and I'm trying to do everything myself, and like catching everything it's not the easiest.
Gloria, you've had your hand up forever. I've seen you active here, so please, Gloria, you can speak.
Oh, hi. Thank you, Heidi, for doing this. And Jenny, wow, you can't be a one woman show. This is it's a heavy lift.
It is, yeah. I've got a financial advisor, and he's been really good. Like, so he's written me a business plan, and I've made a pitch deck out of that. So that's taken a lot of the weight off. But there's still, I mean, there's so much more to it than the finances, and you know.
May I make a
But
suggestion?
yeah,
Have you been in touch with Julie Bindel? Joey Bright is in the United States. I'm talking about older women now.
yeah. I have been in contact with Julie. She has long COVID at the moment. Yeah, so I think she's interested in helping, but now is just not the time, unfortunately.
Right.
But if there's any other like older lesbians who would have experience when the scene was more, alive and wasn't like this.
I'm an older lesbian, and I'm in Heidi's state of Oregon. A lot of things that Heidi talked about, maybe that's a whole nother space about, how we go through life and the various stages and how we mature and so on and so forth. I understand this woman who was frustrated. I understand. I'm not making excuses for her going after you. And I was thinking the same thing when you were speaking. I'm thinking, gee, there were still men at those events. And I can go back to the first time I saw a drag show back in 1969. That's how old I am. On Fire Island. And this drag show was very classy. The difference between gay men and lesbians is a chasm.
Yeah.
And supposedly we're on the same page, but we're really not. I don't want to go into all of my experiences over the years. And of course, there are some gay men that I do get along with. But there are some gay men that are pretty despicable. I understand this woman's frustration because there's nowhere for me to go. And Heidi, I've been to that lesbian group you're talking about, and they are moving towards the queering of the lesbian community. And
Which group? You mean the lesbians of a certain age? Or
well, I'm talking
mean?
about the ones. I'm not going to name the names, but
Right.
when I came here, I got involved with a group of lesbians who've been here for like 40 years. And
Okay.
so I watched what happened to that group when the younger women were coming in. And we are in a very, very different time frame here. But entirely, we're talking AI, artificial intelligence. We're talking very powerful men who are in charge and who are attempting to erase women, lesbians, and transhumanism. So we're up against a real formidable enemy here, and men always have to put their foot in, and you know what I'm talking about, not their foot. They want to
Yeah.
penetrate, and that's in. So that I can very well understand that woman's frustration. Do please understand the frustration of old ladies like us. We don't have much time on this planet, and we don't want to put up with these men, these perverted men anymore.
Yeah, God.
We've been dealing with them all our lives.
Awesome to hear you speak, and thanks for chiming in. That's definitely good to hear from the older lesbians. It's just
Absolutely.
that talk
Yeah.
about an unheard perspective. It's like
Yeah.
no one ever hears from them. It's very sad. So yeah, and I do want to like express that. I do understand the plights of like older women and how they don't want men in these spaces, and how it's like they're concerned about that. I just want to say that when you're talking like Jenny's also concerned about that, and it's obvious, but she's also concerned like about her own safety. Like it's just such a different world now that to say you're concerned about letting men in, and because you think some may be dangerous. Well, exactly, so that's why she's concerned about coming out and starting this whole thing, because you don't know what kind of men are going to start coming at you, or and otherwise. So that's probably I'm assuming, but that's probably a lot of why you were hesitant to do this.
Yeah, I mean this is gonna sound like it's gonna sound melodramatic, but like I've received letters to my house, like gang rape threats, death threats. Like I've posted a couple of them, like the most severe, just because I feel like people need to know.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, I mean good for you, because it's not easy, and I just I'll just come back to that if somebody thinks they can do it better, they can give it a go. But I'm sorry, but you're you're in your early 30s. I mean, it's not like it's not like this is easy. Like you're essentially starting a business, which is already really, really difficult. And then you're also like starting a business that happens to be highly politicized
Exactly.
already.
Yeah, like people.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but it's like people think that I'm just gonna like seize the membership funds and the donations, and I'm just gonna run off with them. And they don't take into consideration like how much planning and stress and effort that's going to go into this. They think and that's the most insulting part.
All right. Well, I actually do have to wrap this one up. I just have to go in general. Okay, yeah, you can laugh and leave if you want. I'm not excluding you from the conversation. Anybody who thinks I am, I'm simply a person that has other things to do, and so I do have to end this space, and I'm not ending it to exclude anyone. So I don't really care what you say.
So I have created a little website, and it's called. So I wasn't so sure about the name at first, and I was thinking of Magdalene's Bar. So for Magdalene Burns, Magdalene Burns in the US?
I don't, but I guess I should.
Oh, you don't? Okay, you need to watch her videos. They're amazing. So I was thinking.
Oh wait, actually, no, I do. No, I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know her.
Okay.
You
no,
know
I
her.
do know. I do know. Okay, I'm being crazy. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And so at first I thought, oh, that'd be a great name. And then I went to LGBT Alliance, and I spoke to Kate Barker, and then we had a bit of a discussion about it. And then she thought, through all the media attention, maybe my name would be a bit more effective. So for the meantime, it's just called Jenny's Bar. We can brainstorm. I'll do a poll. We can make a decision later on. But just for the meantime, it's going to be jennysbar.co.uk.